Welcome back, you guys, to the Beyond the Wrestling Gear podcast, where we don't just talk about wrestling, we go beyond it. And today I'm here with my very good friend, the guy that they call Palsy Heyman, the guy that is known as the one, honestly, in my opinion, one of the best in the world. This is not taken away from CM Punk, my buddy Stix.
Hey man, what's going on? The limping is skipping is pimping is finally back live on your new show, man. What's going on with you?
Man, things are good, man. You know, life changes. I got a dog now. I don't know if you've seen pictures of him. You know, my little
Yeah, you got
little Nitro.
Is he a service dog or is he just a dog?
He's just a normal dog. You know, just
Okay.
a normal everyday dog, just to keep me company. Because I live alone now. I live alone, so it's good to have some company.
Good.
You know.
Little privacy never killed nobody, baby. Enjoy it.
Yeah, he's a year and a half old. I got him as a surprise birthday gift. I think it was this year from my parents, and so I don't really want a dog originally, but he came there, and I'm like, oh well, might as well, take him, raise him, and make him my own. So, hey man, so how about you? I know you were, I guess, working as a DJ at a strip club previously when we had the last episode, and you were kind of still into wrestling, but now you've kind of transitioned into full-time wrestling. What made you decide to do that?
Yeah, man. So, lots of reasons. I mean, I was working at a strip club, right? I was a strip club DJ. There's a lot that goes with that. The hours suck. There's a lot of drama. It's not really the healthiest of environments. Kind of like wrestling, but like, naked. But no, I have a family now. I'm seeing a girl. I'm a pseudo stepdad, and he needs a lot of attention. He has autism, and I would much rather be a good dad than a good DJ. So, I made the choice to really just kind of give up on that and really want to pursue wrestling full time. And it's time anyway, right? Like if you're passionate about something, you kind of have to be obsessed. So to go after something like wrestling, that's as crazy as it is, you have to put 110% of yourself into it. And I think that helped me a lot. Kind of refocus and reset and take it a little more seriously.
So how long did it take you to make that decision, and what were the main factors behind that decision to finally, leave all that behind?
So, I mean, aside from, the girl, my girl Amber, who has been my deepest supporter since day one, even when she didn't understand the business, she was like, all right, if you want to do it, go for it, and then, my son Leo, who became a rabid wrestling fan after his first indie show, that's a big thing for me, but also I wanted to really give myself over to wrestling for a long time, but I listened to a lot of people who said, a guy like me could only be an indie guy or a part-timer or whatever. It might be a hobby. A lot of people thought I shouldn't even be on this side of the guardrail, right? But pardon my French, but fuck that shit. And my mental health was really taking a massive decline towards the end of the strip club run, so I needed to reset mentally. I needed to get away from all the drama and the bullshit that goes along with that industry, and I just needed to take a break. And Amber was like, come home and figure it out, and we'll figure it out together. She was like, if you want to do this, go for it full speed, and that's what I'm doing. And been working out twice a day and sending out bookings the rest of the day, and that's what it is. That's you chasing the dragon. You're a salesman, essentially. You're a door-to-door salesman on the internet now, because that's the way wrestling works.
That's awesome, and I know I've seen some of your work, and you were, I don't know if you still are, but I saw that you and Jules Bradley were co-champions of a independent wrestling organization, right?
Yeah, no, I was the AMP 24/7 champion for about 90 seconds, and I actually won it off of Jules, which was great, until I got super kicked in the face in a scramble match and lost it. So yeah, I stole it from him, and then I lost it, and then he won it back, and So I started taking the belt everywhere because I'm his manager and as his financial representation and business representative. Why not? Why would I not be co-champion as far as I'm concerned? I don't know. Makes sense to me. Maybe not everybody else, but opinions, my buddy, are like booty holes. Everybody's got one, and they're usually full of shit.
I love that. And was that actually the fastest win in AMP's history? The fact that you won the
I
title
don't
in
know.
90
I
seconds?
know I held it for about 90 seconds, so it might have been the fastest loss. But I was actually AMP 24/7 champion, so that's I've now been Go Wrestle Speedweight champion and AMP 24/7 or AMP 24/7 champion. So I got 2 titles under my belt. 6.5 years, not bad, I guess, for a guy with no legs.
That's not bad at all. And the funny thing is, you see people like Gregory Iron. He's been on the independent circuit for a long time, and like you, and like sometimes I think to myself, like, when are they gonna give When are they gonna give wrestlers like you and Gregory Iron a shot at an actual like title? Not
Well,
just
there's a
give you
lot
like a
to that.
24/7, but an actual belt.
There's a lot to that, man. We're okay. So let's have a little fun with it. You want to talk about it? We'll talk about it. So we make a lot of people nervous. People with cerebral palsy make a lot of people with disabilities make people nervous, right? If you're a
Yeah.
quote unquote normal human and you don't understand the way it works because you don't live it, you make people nervous. That's the way it is, right? So when I walk into a locker room or when I walk into a new company, a lot of my time is spent, well, what can you do? Are you safe? Are you trained? That's but that comes with the territory, right? Because when I walk into a room and you see me with extra metal legs and you go, "What the hell is this Make-A-Wish kid?" That's what goes with that, and that's okay. Because by the end of the night, this is the fun part. By the end of the night, when the show's over and they're putting away the folding chairs and the fans have bought their merch and went home, everybody's shaking my hand. Holy shit, I didn't know you could do that. And
Yeah,
that's the
that's.
best
I
part.
mean, that's the thing about that's the beauty about yourself in professional wrestling is you get to prove those doubters wrong
And it's
every
not even
time.
that, right? Because I don't need to prove anything to anybody, right? It's not about that. I don't need to prove myself to anybody else but my reflection, right? That's why I get up every day and train twice a day. That's why, I changed my diet and I'm trying to lose 35 pounds to be lean, mean, and sexy. Not that I'm not already, but, I'm trying to get that sexy gorilla look. So you got to change things up. You gotta change up the facial hair. You got to straighten the beard. You got to, you know, make little subtle changes, the nuances that make you who you are, turn up the volume on what works and eliminate what doesn't. And a lot of what doesn't work for me is the doubt that other people have. Shove it up your ass. I don't care if you don't think I can do it. Watch me do it and then be impressed and go buy another ticket at another show for another company. I am very fortunate that I get to spend a lot of time with the NWA. I actually was in a position a couple weeks ago to almost actually get some camera time until they got nervous and decided that was probably a bad idea. Not because I'm not qualified, but again, I was in a situation where it would have taken away from the overall presentation, and they weren't necessarily sure if I was capable of the job. So a lot of the struggle and the reason it takes me longer and guys like Gregory Irons and other guys on the indies that are quote unquote disabled to get a look is because we get that, "Oh, I'm not really sure if it's a good idea." I don't know about everybody else, but with me, it's money.
Yeah, I mean, with you, obviously, I mean, you got the. I believe you got the mic skills. You got the works. It's just a matter of them giving you a shot.
And that's it. That's the right door. You just got to knock on the right door loud enough for somebody to hear you. And luckily I've been in the right rooms with the right people, and I've been doing this now to be 6 years January. But I've been actually, in the business. I started in 2019, and what 400 and some shows, 30 some different companies, over 1,000 matches either called or worked as a manager. I don't. I've been unsuccessful. I just don't think it's reflected necessarily in my pockets or on screen. Does that make
At least
sense?
not yet. At least not yet.
Right.
You're
And
gonna
I'm
get
not
there
saying that it
eventually.
won't happen. I firmly believe, listen, and this is me, maybe this is me being too cocky, maybe whatever. I don't care. I firmly believe that I am a guy who you can put on any stage and I will show up and show out and be money. You want me to be a heel? I'll be a heel. You want me to be a baby face? I'll be a baby face. You want me to be an announcer? I'll be an announcer. You want me to do color? I'll do color. You want me to call the show as a straight guy? I'll call the show as a straight guy. I'll be your point guard. I don't care. I am a Swiss Army knife. 4 legs or not. I'm here to show up and show out and take over the business and leave my fucking mark. Whether you believe it or you don't, I don't care.
Y'all heard that promo, loud and clear.
It's not a promo, dude. That's facts. And like, I wanted to come on here because I got, the last time we did your show, I got a lot of judgment saying I wasn't 100% myself, or the volume wasn't loud enough. Like, I wasn't myself at full speed. So I wasn't going to come on here and give you 50% of Styx. You invited Styx, you're going to get Styx. And everybody out there watching, listening, taking notes, whether you hear it on Spotify or you watch it on Twitter, wherever you see this, Stix is the guy. I am manager of champions. I am the voice of several different companies. I have called matches for some of the best stars in the business. My voice is money. My brain is even more money. I got $1 million face and $1 billion mind. Custom made, baby. I'm one of a kind. That's a promo.
Man, I love it. I love it, man. The one thing I liked about you, and I saw this at River City, and you kind of taught me about this, was being confident about myself, especially as a podcaster. You kind of taught me that, in a sense of like, because I was kind of stuck in a position where I wanted to kind of ask questions, but I was afraid to, and you let me know that you just got to be authentic. You got to be yourself when you speak with them. You got to speak to them to a level of like they're just human. Everybody's
Well,
just
that's
human.
the truth. You're not a fan anymore. You're a broadcaster. You're a pseudo journalist, whatever you want to call yourself, a podcaster. But you have to be, if you're gonna be in the room, act like you belong in the room. Because if they smell the fact that you think you don't belong there, you don't belong there. Immediately, you don't belong there. And maybe you don't belong there, but they don't know that. But you have to know you belong there because that's what really matters. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. I know for a fact, and this is 100% who I am as a person. You can ask Jules, you can ask anybody I've shared the ring with. When I walk into a company, I know whatever you ask me to do, it might not come out as perfectly as I want it to, but by the time I leave that building, I will have left your company better. And that's how you have to look at being a podcaster. Every show you do, every interview you do, if you don't want to be better, you are doing it wrong.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Like, and that's one thing that I always cherish every time I talk to someone and they ask me about, the interviews I did recently or previously. Your name always comes up, in a positive way. Like I'm like, that this man, like,
Well, I love that
if
you
you
lie
ever
about me. I
feel like you
appreciate
need
it.
a boost of confidence, you got to reach out to Stix because he knows how to give it to you.
Appreciate that. Thank you, my guy. Well, you're a quality human being. I knew that before we even had a conversation. When Duke introduced us and we had a brief interaction, I knew you're a quality human being. And listen, I don't need clout. I don't need to chase anything. If I can help people that are quality human beings that are working hard and deserve the help, I will do it.
Yeah, and like and I definitely like appreciate like everything you've done and our and I would like to say our friendship now, and we're actually friends. So we've met, and hopefully we got more events to be at where we'll end up connecting and and all kinds of stuff, man.
Well, I think you're doing great. And I think the shift for you in shows and things. I've been paying attention to what you're doing, and I think it's great. And I think the more you push, and the more focused you become, and the more structured you have your ideas, the better you're going to be. I think you really have a potential to blow up as a podcaster, cerebral palsy aside. And here's the thing. Here's the one thing I don't want you to take away from us, right? We're not just dudes with cerebral palsy, right? We have it. It's not going anywhere. I got the parking space. I'm good. I don't need anything else. But my skill, my talent, my intellect, that's all that matters. And that's what you have to remember. When you feel like you're a little shaky on confidence, or maybe you're not in the right spot, or you're not talking to the right people, they don't care that you have cerebral palsy. What do you bring to the table other than that? And that's what I always try to do. Yeah, I have cerebral palsy. Is it cool that I have it and I'm a big dude and I have big muscles and I'm quick on the mic? Is it cool that all of that comes with cerebral palsy? Yeah. But once you take the CP out of it, I'm a star.
Yeah,
And you have to
that's
think the
how
same way
that's
because you're on that. You have to want to be on that level. You know what I mean?
absolutely. You said 100% correct. You gotta focus on showing people what you have. Besides the cerebral palsy, you're so much more than just that.
Right.
Every day with what you
Right. And I
do.
feel like a lot of people in our shoes are afraid that that's all they have, right? Because you don't take the time to figure out what you're good at. You want to be a podcaster, right? Who inspired you to be a podcaster? Where did that come from?
For me, honestly, it was I just came up with it out of the blue one day. I was just doing, I guess like, just doing my thing during the pandemic, and I said to myself, I started sharing my story, my personal, testimony of living with cerebral palsy, motivating people and things like that. And all of a sudden, I told myself, I've already shared my story with people. Why not make a platform where I can invite people with their own stories and they can share it, and it's judgment free, where they can come on and people aren't going to judge them, but instead support them. And that's where cerebral palsy and fitness came on, and also because I was working out a lot, so I wanted to showcase my fitness prowess. And this is not to brag, and I mean I'm like always in the gym, giving it 110%. Even if there's days where I feel like crap physically, I still try to give it my all.
Get it, my guy. I get it. A lot of days I don't feel like it either, but if you don't show up, you don't make results.
Yeah, so I saw you the other day. You were in the gym, and I think you were going through some spastic episode there, right? You were going
Yeah,
through.
so I was trying to make a little montage, right? Because I'm trying to create different ways to create content for myself, right? And my girl keeps telling me, Amber keeps saying, you got to create stuff in the gym. You're so good in the gym. You're so strong. People need to see it. So I bought some new equipment. I'm trying to learn how to use the equipment with my phone to create reels and things like that to boost my social media following and do different things to create content. And one of the things I was doing the other day was just cardio, right? I was on the bike and I couldn't find my rhythm on the bike. I couldn't get my feet to point down so I could keep pedaling in a consistent way. It looks so herky jerky, but you got to try stuff. And a lot of times when you try stuff, you and I both know this. A lot of times when you try steps, and you're gonna fall on your face. It just is what it is, right? But you can't be afraid of the fall because you're gonna get back up anyway, right? Otherwise, you're just gonna lay there and die. Those are your choices: get up or lay there and die, right? So yeah, I was on the bike and I was trying to film some stuff, and it looked awful. I looked horrible, but I put it out anyway because why not? You know, it is what it is. Part of the journey. Sometimes in the journey, you're gonna get shit on your shoes. That's just what it is.
Right, and honestly, if you put on a lot of that fitness content out, not only are you balancing out different sides of you, but as far as wrestling companies looking at your content, looking at your page, they can see, oh, this guy's, he's athletic and he's trying out there to do different things physically, and besides, just doing what he usually does. So we might give him another shot at a different arena,
Well, and that
different.
makes sense too. I think it's just me being myself. I think one of the
Yeah.
things that I have shied away from is not showing everybody the whole stick, I
The
guess.
whole package.
way to turn a phrase. I don't necessarily always give away the whole pie, and I think I do a lot of things that people don't see that might make me a better person, might help somebody else, might motivate somebody else to do something different with themselves. And I think overall, if you're doing that, you're doing the right thing. I just want to be the best version of myself, and if that puts me in some uncomfortable positions, then so be it. It is what it is. To be great, to make progress, you have to be uncomfortable. That's just the way life is. And again, I said today, I made in one of my short videos, I make Stix fixes every day. I said when I was a kid, the first thing, I was a 90s kid, right? The first thing they taught me in physical therapy was you're going to fall a lot. We're going to make you fall on everything. And they really did. They taught me how to fall, but more importantly, they taught me how to get back up. Because yeah, the fall's coming, but you got to find the strength to get the fuck back up.
Yeah, same here. They did the same thing with me. I was taught how to fall, how to get back up, and it's funny because I'm so athletically blessed that when now when I fall, I can get up in 2 seconds, and people are like, "Are you okay?" And I just bounce back up in 2 seconds, and I'm like, and it's funny because
Yeah,
I
man,
don't
I
know
get
about
it.
you, but there's days where I'll take a bump and I'll get up in 2 seconds, and then the pain is 2 seconds delayed, and then the pain goes and hits you right in the face. You're like,
Brother, I don't feel no pain ever. I'm kidding. I'm the king of the concrete bump. I've done some stupid stuff at a show and in the grocery store. That's it. It just is what it is.
yeah, man, like it's speaking about pain and taking pain and stuff. Like for you, now that you're in the wrestling business full time, especially traveling on the road, how does that impact you as far as having cerebral palsy and just traveling consistently?
So it's weird, right? So like sometimes, for a lot of time, when I was working at the club, I would work at the club Friday nights, get off at 3 or 4 in the morning, drive to wherever I was driving to pick up my buddy. We drive to wherever we had a booking. I remember we were doing stuff for FEW in Miami. We were filming stuff for YouTube, and we were doing 8 episodes a weekend. So we would film 4 or 5 episodes on Saturday and the rest on Sunday. So it was a 2-day ride. So it was lucky enough that they would put us up in a hotel, not a nice hotel, but a hotel. So I would literally drive from the club to my buddy Matt's house, pick up Matt at 5 in the morning. We would drive from where I lived in Palm Coast straight to Miami, about a 5 hour drive, make the production meeting at 10 a.m., start filming at like noon, get done at like 11 o'clock at night, go to the hotel, get a couple hours of sleep, do it again on Sunday. That was my schedule for a long time. A lot of times I would work the club, and if even on Saturday nights, I would work Saturday nights. If I had a booking on Sunday, I would go on the road. So I did a lot of shows on no sleep. I probably shouldn't admit that, but for about 4 or 5 years, I did shows on no sleep. A lot, a lot. Um, and the Monday after is brutal because your body is seizing up. You've been in the car for however many hours. You no sleep. The food is shit. Beef jerky and energy drinks are not good for you, right? Like so, it's a lot, right? You're already living unhealthily, working night shift because it throws off your circadian rhythm. It's not good for your heart. There are studies that show this, right? And then you go no sleep for 2 days. Then you got to go back to work. Then you still have all these other family obligations or whatever it is. So yeah, it was chaos, man. But I thrive when I'm busy. When it's hectic and it's crazy and it's nonstop and we got to go. I don't know, man. I just have a switch. I'm just built different. I know that sounds weird coming from a guy who's half his body has a temper tantrum every 3 hours or so, but I'm just built different. I don't know. And it sucks a lot of days. It'll be like a normal, I'll give you an example. It was last Tuesday. I went to the store and I was feeling fine, and I got home from the store and my legs just started twitching, just doing their thing. Like there's a little kid in there just flipping switches. You know what I mean? And you know exactly what I mean. There's nothing you can do. I smoked a blunt. I had a little bit of weed. You know what I mean? And You just gotta let it ride. There's no real rhythm or reason to it, and there's no way to fix it.
Yeah,
So a
that's
lot of
true.
times you just go with it, and it is what it is. Luckily, when that music hits and I go through that curtain and it's showtime and all that, I'm invincible. I don't know what happens, man. Like Jules and I just had a match in Georgia for old school Georgia Championship Wrestling. Great organization. Georgia Old School Championship Wrestling. Let me at least get the name right. We did a match where there's a spot in the match where he climbs to the top rope, but he moves out of the way and I catch Jules. Right? I should not be doing that. Concrete floor, barricades, all that. Catch him, no big deal. Match goes over. We're massive heels. They hate us. We did our job. Wonderful stuff. We go over. He throws the powder in his face. 1, 2, 3. We go in the back. Monday after the show, I look at my feet, and my feet are bruised to shit. I have no idea why. There's no rhyme. There's no reason to it. The only thing I can think of is when I went to catch him, my feet went like this. And I don't know if I like popped some blood vessels or pulled something, but for like a week, my toes were black as shit for no explanation. That's cerebral palsy, you know?
God, yeah, that sounds painful, bro.
It was weird. It was not comfortable and it was weird because I didn't get hurt. It was safe. Everything was fine. But like my body just does what it wants. I'm dealing with legs that are essentially toddlers at Walmart that want candy. I don't know how else to explain it other than you just go through it. You just power through it. I can't hide it. I can't get away from it. I can't change it, but I'm not going to let it stop me. So you just deal with it.
So I've been noticing that, of course, I called you Palsy Heyman at the beginning of the podcast. How did that come about?
That was an accident. A lot of my nicknames come from car rides and stupid group chats that I get put into. Because wrestlers are funny people, right? And my buddy Brandon Alexander, who is a commentator, ring announcer, and jackass extraordinaire, came up with the nickname Sticky Bobby because Ricky Bobby the best to ever do it, and he put it in a group chat, and I just kept it. And then Jules, actually, in the same group chat, I don't know if it was the same conversation or a couple of days later, Jules was like, "Hey, what about Palsy Heyman?" And I was like, "Hey, I'm fucking keeping that." So there it is. Put it on a t-shirt, boys.
I like it personally. I dig it, and I see it. You know, I definitely see that.
It worked.
And then I forgot
Until
to
Paul
mention at
Heyman
the
sends me a
beginning
cease and
of the
desist.
episode 2, you're also known as the world's most famous plaything.
That's a great story. So when I was an intern at a radio station, that's how I got the name Styx, right? I was an intern for a couple of years, and they hired me for the morning show. So when they hired me for the morning show, they said, "We have a nickname for you, but we don't want you to be offended." And I said, "What is it?" And they said, "Styx." And I said, "That's awesome. Can we at least put an X in it?" And they were like, "Yeah, definitely, awesome." So that's how I got the name Styx. And the world's most famous plaything comes from a news story. I want to say 2006 or 7. The Stix was being inducted into the Toy Hall of Fame as the world's favorite toy. You go outside, you find a stick. It can be a sword, it can be a gun, it can be whatever you want it to be, right? It's Stix. So then I was like, well, what if I call myself the world's most famous plaything? And there it is. It's been that way for, I don't know, almost 20 years.
That's good. That's brilliant. Not only that, but you can take it in all kinds of directions. You know, especially in the wrestling
And that's the
and
best
everything.
part. And when I was a strip club DJ, it was phenomenal. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, look, when you first mentioned in the first podcast that I have the promo, I was like, this is good. This is some good stuff. Like you can take this anywhere, and it's like people can use it in their imagination. You know?
Yeah, I just want to be. I just want to leave a footprint. I just don't want to be an also ran. I don't want to be just here. I don't feel like we were meant to wake up go to school, get a job, pay bills, and die. Like, I just don't think that's what I was meant to do. We all have a gift. Every one of us has a purpose. And I'm going to get a little inspirational and hooey and all, but I don't care. Every
Let's go
single
for
one
it.
of us is here for a reason. We have something that was given to us by the universe, by God, whatever. We have a skill that was given to us that we are supposed to flourish and nourish and nurture and help grow. Mine is entertainment. I've been an entertainer since I was 5 years old. I've been doing plays since I was 5 years old. I can't help it. I'm supposed to do it. I just know it. I don't do well in normal environment. I don't do well with 9 to 5. I don't do well with normal rules. I have to do things a certain way. My way isn't always the right way, but it's my way. My life is my way because it has to be, right? Because the world is not made for me. I am a short, round, left-handed, lazy-eyed, gimpy motherfucker. Nothing on this planet was made for me.
You know what?
I
I
have to
almost
adapt.
said. I was almost thinking the other thing. I was like, you said a gimpy motherfucker. I'm like, you said I was gonna say son of a bitch. I'm like, gimp. I was like, gimpy son of a bitch. I'm like, that would have been good too.
Listen, it works. But I'm saying, man, it just is what it like. I learned a long time ago, and I think this comes from my dad. My dad taught me a long time ago that this world was not made for me. I am not supposed to fit in. I'm not supposed to follow the rules. I'm not supposed to do what normal people do because I'm not a normal person. I think normal is a dirty word anyway. I don't want to be normal. That's gross. Who wants to be normal? Who wants to be just like everybody else? That's disgusting. If you want to be normal, go in your house and never come out because we ain't got no time for you. Stay on the sidelines and watch and take notes, and maybe one day you'll be unafraid of your greatness and you'll find your way. But I'm not that guy.
Bro, you do realize this episode is fully real worthy. The amount of stuff that I could pull out of this episode, it's crazy. I mean, the
Use
amount of
all of it,
stuff
my
you've
guy.
given out,
Use all of it.
it's crazy, dude. Like, and it's good stuff too. It's actually stuff that people can actually use. Like, they can take it, um, to heart.
And maybe it helps and maybe it doesn't. That's just the way I look at things. And I think I get a lot of heat from the boys because I am overtly positive, right? I am very good at finding the silver lining in a dark cloud. That's the only way I know how to stay alive, though. I don't know where it came from. I don't know why I got it. I don't know what it is, but it's the only thing that keeps me kicking. It's the only thing I got. Because inside, yeah, there's a lot of darkness. My life has been hard. My life has been painful. My life has been real. There's some real darkness in there, baby. And any day anybody wants to crack open a bottle of Jack Daniels and talk about it, we can talk about it. But for the most part, I feel like I gotta find the reason to keep going. I really have, for the last couple years, been trying to retrain my brain to throw out the negative trash and appreciate what's in front of me. Because the only time we really got, the only thing that's real when it comes to time, right now. Right now. Everything else doesn't exist. Tomorrow doesn't exist yet. Yesterday's over. Right? We don't get another chance at yesterday, right? We don't get to do this again. And I can't, in good conscience, believe that being positive is, yeah, sometimes it's gross. And yeah, sometimes I make myself sick with it, right? I don't want to be positive all the time. I'm a mean, angry sumbitch. And I can be. But for the most part, I have to find the silver lining because it helps that foot move forward. It helps me take that next step and keep going. When I don't want to keep going, that's what I got. That's the only thing that fills my tank. And I'm lucky, but I also know I'm annoying. I also know there's lots of people out there who get nauseous when I get overtly positive. But again, here comes that angry cuss. I don't really care.
Those are those are haters, and hey, if they're watching your stuff, good on them. They're watching. They're
Yeah,
still
baby.
watching it.
Whether you love it or you hate it, if you're watching it, that's all that matters. Buy the
They're
merch.
still Yep. There we go. There we go. Buy the merch, y'all. Yeah. Speaking about merch, I gotta find a day and wear your shirt. Maybe when I go to the next wrestling event or something, represent you. Go out there and wear it. That's what I
Best
usually do
shit in
now.
the
Is instead of
business, baby.
yeah, like instead of wearing like when I go to like WWE events and stuff and AEW events, I don't wear AEW superstars. I wear my friends merch. Like I wear a breezy
Yo,
shirt to a
I'm
WWE
wearing a
event.
Zicky Dice shirt right now. Look at that. Outlandish Zicky Dice. Look at it. I'm wearing my buddy shirt right now.
Yeah, like I'd rather support my friends and support somebody I don't know and I probably won't ever know unless I get to that point. You
Yeah,
know,
that part. That part. I think I have been very blessed, especially lately, to spend a lot of time in rooms with guys who really get this. I learned from guys like Aaron Stevens, who used to be Damian Sandow on WWE. He now works for the NWA.
I've always wanted to
He's a
meet him
phenomenal
just to
human
talk to him
being.
about the gimmicks, that he does.
He's a genius. He's a genius. Not even just to talk to him, just to watch him. Just to watch him talk to other people about ideas he has for them. It's incredible. To know guys like Tom Latimer and EC3 and then watch them put a match together, and the intricacies, the tiny, tiny nuances that make them great, right? And if you are in rooms like that and you don't learn, then you're wasting your time. Guys like put Brian Idol. Brian Idol and is the reason I am able to be backstage with NWA. Brian Idol and Natalia are phenomenal human beings who have done nothing but in a sense help me, right? And like I can't not be appreciative for that. Did I get what I wanted last time? No. Am I a signed contract employee there? No. But do I get to be backstage and learn? Yes. And is that wonderful? Yes. But so is a paycheck. Billy, put me on TV! I'm money, baby!
Hey, brother, I'm always rooting for you to get that opportunity. Always, always, always. But like you said, it's just gonna take, your hard work, your perseverance, patience, and just sitting back and just learning. You know.
Well, yeah, and it's not sitting back. I think you have to take an active role, right? To manifest anything, there has to be intention, but there has to be action. If there's no action, it doesn't matter how hard you want it, you're never going to get it, right? So a lot of it is stepping up in the room and being like, hey, can I ask you a question? Do you have time to look at something and give me your honest opinion of my work? No? Okay, when can I send it to you? When can you look at it? Give me notes. Give me red lines. I don't care if it's negative or positive. I'd much rather have negative feedback than positive feedback. I know I'm good at this. How do I become great at it? That's my mindset every single day when it comes to fitness, when it comes to life, when it comes to being a stepdad, when it comes to loving my girl, being a better partner. I don't care. I just want to be the best version of myself so that when I get that opportunity to be in that place, whether it's NWA, TNA, New Japan, WWE, AEW, I don't care. When you put me on a main stage, you will be shocked and grateful for it, and so will I.
And I guarantee you, I'll definitely be watching. I'll be like, hey, I know that guy from the very beginning, and trust me, there'll be one day where you're in one of those top companies, and I'll be there, and I'll get to interview. Be like, hey, I knew you from way back in the day. When you were
Brother,
out in
it'll
the
be a
indie.
lot sooner than you think. I promise. I promise you, it'll be way sooner than you think. And when you start getting those Joe Rogan numbers, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I knew that gimpy motherfucker from way back when.
Yeah, Joe Rogan and his numbers are ridiculous. Like it's crazy.
Yo,
Honestly, I've been really, really getting into his podcast lately. Like it's been phenomenal.
listen, I'll say this. I don't always agree with Joe. I don't always
Yeah, yeah,
think he says the right thing or has the right viewpoint. But he has so much diversity on his podcast, from astrophysicists to comedians to movie stars, from Donald Trump, for crying out loud. I mean,
yeah.
dude had the president of the United States on his podcast. If you don't learn
and
something
the vice
by
president.
just Yeah, that was a great one too. That was phenomenal. I think he has a real ability to connect with people on a person-to-person level, to where they're so comfortable that they can't help but open up and be their true, authentic selves with him. And I think that's what makes him great. People want authenticity. People want realness because people smell it. We smell it everywhere now. It's in the food. It's in the water. It's in the news. It's on the TV. It doesn't matter. Fake is everywhere. Real is rare. To steal a line from August Artois, I'm real and raw, brother.
Hey man, like like speaking about like life in general, man, like for a lot of people, and I'm generally saying this, but you and people might say you're sick of your positivity and whatnot, but sometimes when I listen to you, you're a breath of fresh air, man.
Oh, I love it when you lie to me, brother.
Like for real, some of the stuff you say, it's like truth. It's facts. As you mentioned.
I think it just comes from experience, man. I've had a lot of weird shit happen to me for no other reason that I was in the universe, right? Like, I'm supposed to learn from this, so let me learn from it. And if I say it out loud and somebody else takes a little nugget from it and makes them a better person or makes them stronger or more resilient or whatever quality they take from it, that's awesome. That's why I'm here. That's what it is. We're here to share information. We're not here to be greedy and keep everything to ourselves, right? Like, share your gift. Don't keep it. It's not for my gift. Isn't for me. It's for everybody else.
Do you see yourself as eventually as a coach, kind of to those up and coming wrestlers that are getting into the business when they
Yeah,
or
I
not
don't know if
really?
I have the patience to be a coach. To be honest, I like helping people, and if there are guys that I have pulled aside and said, hey, this is great. What do you think about trying this instead? I'll give you a couple guys right now. They're from the school House of Champions in Orlando. House of Champions is a great place to train. It's a mini performance center, if you will, and it's run by Jamie Stanley, that dude. Go check them out if you want to learn the business the real way. And here's how I know. And I'm not just giving them a plug because Jamie Stanley's my friend and whatever, whatever. I went to one of their classes. And you know what they taught the kids on the first day? Not just how to set up the ring, not just how to tighten the ropes, not how to take a bump, all that stuff. They talked about the importance of social media presence and how to talk to people and media coaching and all those things that they don't really teach you in a conventional wrestling school because they don't learn that until you make it to a major company, you don't learn that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? I learned it the hard way through radio, through being a pseudo celebrity for 8 or 9 years in Daytona when I was on the morning shows and they put us on billboards and we had to do interviews and I learned the hard way. And a lot of people who are wrestlers, and this is cool that we're talking about this. This is one of my favorite subjects. I was taught that wrestling there's a old school way to do things and the old school way is not always the best way, but it's the most consistent way to be successful, right? So if I see guys from House of Champions, I'll give you two names. AC Vi is a guy who is essentially wrestling's newest version of Tony Robbins. Phenomenal guy. Phenomenal character. He's going to be at the establishment this weekend, Sunday, Lake Mary, in the Elite Wellness CrossFit gym. Come see us. It's going to be fun. And there's another one there, Big Boy Patty, who is a big, rugged cowboy, young in the game, but knows what he's doing. And Caesar, too. He's from another country. He plays a pretty boy heel. Phenomenal guys who are up and comers in this business. So, yeah, if I see talent, I'll pull you aside. But I don't know if I have the patience for everybody who wants to be a wrestler because I have a different vision on the way the business should be. Right? And this is coming from a guy who a lot of people think don't deserve to be in the business. So yeah, am I talking out of both sides of my mouth? Maybe. Because if a guy named Kyle Blizzard didn't take a chance on me 6 years ago at Go Wrestle in a dirty, dingy medical warehouse and teach me how to bump and teach me how to work safe and teach me the ins and outs, the hard way, mind you, I wouldn't be where I'm at. Right? I wouldn't have you asking me these questions of would I be a coach? Would I like to help others? Sure. But do I think everybody that wants to be a wrestler deserves to be in the professional business of wrestling? No, absolutely not. I don't think everybody's built for it. It's a different. I'm going to say this and I'm probably going to get in a lot of trouble for it. So here you go. Here's a juicy nugget, brother. Take it, chop it up, and use it. Not everybody who is a wrestler is a professional wrestler. There is a difference. There is a huge difference between most of the guys you see today on the independent scene and professional wrestlers. I would like to consider myself part of the professional wrestling community because I take this very, very seriously. I take my appearance very seriously. If you see me, I'm always wearing a suit. I'm always wearing something nice. I always look like money. You know, it's a lot of guys just want to be one of the boys. Do you want to be one of the boys, or do you want to make a living at this? Do you want to be a professional at this? Or do you want to be a part-timer? Do you want to be a weekend warrior? That's fine. I got no problem with that. But the professional business of wrestling takes a little more than that. And I take that very seriously. This is something I love. This is something I loved since I was 10 years old. I can't help it. And I'm very protective of her, even if she doesn't always love me. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, I understand. You know, that's your that's your baby. That's your second what? That's your second girlfriend there.
And a lot of times, and she'll agree with, a lot of times it's my first. You know, wrestling is my first mistress. But I love my family, you know, more than I can say. And the fact that I have the ability to literally mold a young man into a grown man every single day and teach him and you know, watch him grow. I will never do anything more wonderful than help my girl raise her son. And hopefully one day we'll have one of our own, and I can pass on the family name and all that good stuff. And he has a wonderful father, and his father is in the military in active duty right now on a ship in the Navy doing his thing for this country. So like, if I can help him raise his son to be a strong man and be a contributing member of this society in a positive way, that means more to me than wrestling ever will. And I know a lot of times that can be frustrating for a family because I am on the road a lot. I'm gone all the time, you know, and I want to be gone more because that's where the money is. You know, and the goal here is not always to just be a wrestler. I like making money, and I like making a lot of money. And you're looking at a guy who eventually is going to make a lot of money in this business.
Yes.
But you know, the fact that Amber is as patient with me as she is and loves me enough to help me at this point in my life chase this dream and go full speed, there is no more love I could have for another human being than I have for her. And there's no more love that I could have for another human being than I do for Leo, her son, who is one of the smartest 7-year-old boys I have ever come across. Autism or not, he taught himself Russian. He taught himself how to play the piano. He makes movies in 90 seconds. He's like a little AI computer. It's phenomenal. But yeah, man, it's all fucking worth it at the end of the day. I get to do what I love to do, and I get to do it surrounded by people who I love the most.
Would you ever do? I mean, this is. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about your thoughts, but would you ever do like a WWE type schedule where it's like on the road, like almost a whole
You
year?
know how much I would love to do a WWE schedule? I love being on the road. I am a gypsy, my guy. I love traveling. I love driving. I love flying. I'm curious though. I want to go places I've never been. I want to see things I've never seen. I want to learn things I've never known. You know what I mean? I'm just a curious dude. I'm a gypsy. I can't help it. I love being on the road.
That's awesome. I mean, as long as you love it, and at the end of the day, you go to bed content and you feel happy and you feel like fulfilled. That's what matters.
That's the thing though, is it's weird. It's this weird thing. Like I heard somewhere the other day that people are always looking for that extra thing that great people have. It's not that we have something extra. It's that we're missing something. I'm never content, and that's my problem. I feel like I'm never doing enough. I feel like I don't work hard enough. I feel like no matter how many times I go to the gym, I'm not doing enough. I'm not putting enough hours. I didn't send enough emails. I didn't send the right. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing that happens in my head. I'm obsessed with this. And I think that's where greatness comes from, right? Kobe Bryant, first guy in, last guy to leave, every day. Michael Jordan, same thing. But you know how many times Michael Jordan lost? Thousands of times. But we only remember the times he won. That's what made him great. The losses make you just as great as the wins, if not greater. Because that persistence, that I'm not letting go of this bone. It's mine. I'm not fucking letting it go. That is where greatness comes from. It's that willingness to go when everyone else doesn't want you to. It's that willingness to do more than people think you should. It's that willingness to push harder than even your body thinks you should. That's where that comes from.
You mentioned obsession, but honestly, from how you're wording things, it sounds more like this isn't just an obsession for you. It's a lifestyle, and it's your life.
It is my life. It is my life, and it has been
It's
my
your
life
life.
for as long as I can remember. And I'll tell a story that, Jesus, dude, I'm giving you everything right now. I fell in love with wrestling after a very bad day. I had just moved to Florida. I think I was 11 or 12. I just started at a new school. I was the kid in the wheelchair. I was getting picked on. I didn't have any friends. No girls liked me. I was in a bathroom. I was in a handicapped stall in a bathroom. And I was going to leave. And when I went to leave, a group of dudes came in. I don't know who they were, but they held the door shut, so I couldn't get out. And then they dipped paper towels in the urinals and threw them over. Right? So they bombed me with pee paper towels. Right? So I go home. You're good. What's up, puppy? So I go home and I'm devastated. Right? I'm a 12-year-old kid. I don't know what the fuck to do. So in my room, I have a computer, I have a TV, crying my face off. I don't tell anybody because what do you tell, right? Because you and I both know that if you tell on a bully, what happens? It gets worse. So I just went home, kept it to myself. I'm bawling in my room. It's the first time I was so sad I thought about killing myself. I said to myself, I gotta get out of this mindset. I have to do something. So I turned my TV on. And I just had local channels because I didn't have cable in my room. I wasn't that fancy. I just had the little rabbit ears. And I'm flipping through the channels, and what do I see? D-Generation X on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And I stop. And I see these big, strong dudes putting on a show and being entertaining. And I got 2 words for you. But because of that moment, I became obsessed with the history of wrestling. Then I became obsessed with fitness because of wrestling, because I wanted to be strong, because I saw these big, strong dudes who nobody could hurt, who could fight, who could throw hands and tell stories, and I was hooked. And it made me want to be that. I said to myself in that moment, I said, I don't know how, but I'm going to do that. I don't know what part I'm going to play, but I'm going to do that. And because of that, I started working out, and it got me into wheelchair bodybuilding, and it got me nationally ranked as a wheelchair bodybuilder, and it did all these things for me, right? It put me in Flex magazine, and it gave me the courage to be on the radio and do all these crazy, crazy things with my life. Wrestling did all that for me.
That's incredible, man. And you've been through one heck of a journey, man, and you still got a whole lot more to go.
I hope so. I ain't done yet.
Not till the sun comes out and shines, that's for sure.
That's it, baby. I'm always gonna kick out until I'm not allowed anymore. I don't know the finish. but I don't care what it is.
Yeah, I think you'll end up beating life before it beats you.
I hope so. But Father Time don't do no jobs, if you know what I'm saying, brother.
Yeah, man. I mean, you like they always say, you still got it, and you're still going.
Damn right. Damn right. One foot, one cane in front of the other. I'm gonna be limping, gimping, and pimping my way all the way to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I can't wait for that moment. That's gonna be something special. It'll be real special.
Yo, man. I appreciate the confidence, my guy. How much time we got? We've been doing this for an hour. You want to keep going or what?
Yeah, man. I was thinking of if you want to cut like after this, if you want to stay on and then you could cut like a promo for the pod, I can use it for like the main intro. You know,
Well, fuck
that
it,
way
man.
it'll be a
So
part of.
let me just plug my stuff real quick, and then we'll do whatever you want to do, and you can chop it up and use it how you want to use it.
Yeah, let's do it, brother. But like I said, I wasn't kidding when I said this episode is like real worthy because there's a lot of stuff here that's a lot of knowledge that people can hear, and it's gonna bring like a lot of good attention. Positivity. People need that,
Thank
especially
you, my guy. Use all of
in
it.
a profession like professional wrestling where it can get very negative and very dark very quickly. You know.
Well, yeah, there's ups and downs to this thing, right? You're essentially, like I said earlier, you're a door-to-door salesman. Sometimes you're selling every day. Sometimes you're booked, every month you got 12 shows and you're killing it and all that. And some months you got 2 shows and some months you got 1 show and you're not selling merch and yada, yada, yada. So it's that fight to stay relevant. It's that fight to stay top of mind. So yeah, there's a struggle to it. And there's a lot of darkness that comes with, am I good enough? Why am I not where I see my friends? I have a lot of friends who are in AEW. I have a lot of friends who are in the NWA. I have a lot of friends in WWE. And like, what am I missing? Why do I not have that shot? Why am I not there? What, you know what I mean? But you have to be able to block that out and just keep moving forward.
Yeah, focus on the here and now. That's all you got to do.
And the here and now is the world's most famous plaything, coming at you live, large, and in charge, right here with David Figueroa. Book me, baby. Stix92 at gmail.com. Stixman92 at all social media platforms. I am Stix, limping, gimping, pimping. They call me Palsy Heyman, a.k.a. Sticky Bobby, the best to ever do it. David, I'll catch you on the flip side, brother.
I love it, man. And thank you for your time. I really appreciate you all the time. And like I said, we got many more episodes to go because this journey ain't over yet.
Hey, baby, anytime you need it, I'm right here, my guy. It's been a pleasure. Have a great night.
You too, my brother, as always.